Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, simply welcome. So my name is Angel, aka the Angelic Muse. I'm an intuitive tarot reader as well as a certified distance Reiki practitioner. And I am here on YouTube today with another pick a card. So as you guys can see from the title, this one's just going to be an energy check, of course, but there's also uplifting messages within here just to go along with the current situation you may be dealing with. Or the energy that you're surrounded by during this time. So, as always, we have some piles for you to choose from. We have 3 today. So, for your first pile, if you choose this one, this is the Sunstone crystal. For your second pile, we have, I believe it's Mookaite, Jasper. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then for your third crystal, it's either Petalite or Petalite. I didn't actually look into the pronunciation of it, just the spelling. But this one's a small one. So yeah. So we have 3 piles for you to choose from. I have some oracle cards here, and I'm going to do the tarot for each pile. But then I'm going to live shuffle an oracle deck as well as an affirmation deck at the end of each session. So you can go ahead and pause the video now if you like, if you want to meditate on whichever pile you gravitate towards or whatever the case may be. And all my timestamps will be down below for you to choose from, as well as my links where you can book a personal session with me on my website, www.theangelicmuse.com, and as well as my Instagram. If you would like to connect with me over there and follow me, that's at The Angelic Muse. So without further ado, let's get into your reading, and I'll see you at your timestamp. Hey, pile 1. So if you chose the Sunstone crystal, here is your reading. So we're going to start out with your tarot as always, and then I'm going to pull these oracle, and then I have another few I'm going to live shuffle on camera for you guys. So starting out with your tarot. So your first card is the Wheel of Fortune. Your second card is the Knight of Cups. And then your third card is the Six of Cups. So I'm feeling like, okay, so here's the thing. Your uplifting message, in a nutshell, is that despite what you may be going through right now, despite whatever fated moment you may be going through right now, whether it's uncomfortable, whether you don't like it, whether you're confused about it, because I know with the Wheel of Fortune card coming out here, though, I just get the feeling that you may have been in something, an uncomfortable time, or you may be in an uncomfortable time and you've been there for a while. Or just longer than you'd like. Maybe not necessarily a while in terms of time, but what is time? So, but with this Knight of Cups here, followed by the Six of Cups, I feel like someone. Okay, so I feel like whatever's coming next for you is going to be worth more than you can even imagine. It's going to be so emotionally fulfilling, so abundant, so you're going to be so blessed in your next season once the tables turn on this and you're able to move out of this. I feel like this Knight of Cups may be you, and this is just you in your element, and you're focused and you're ready and you're driven and you're on to the next thing. It's just a matter of flowing and going with the times. With the Six of Cups here, I was about to say Six of Pentacles, but the Six of Pentacles here, 6 in tarot represents like fairness. It represents values. It represents solutions. It's the Lovers. It's just going towards heart-related matters and surrendering to what is, and not necessarily in a way where you don't like it, but just being accepting of it. With this Wheel of Fortune here, here's the thing about those moments, though they're fated, though they're uncomfortable, we have to find the good in them. And I feel like whatever lessons you're supposed to be learning in this season here that you may be currently in, if you are able to apply them and you're able to work with them and alchemize and use them to your benefit, you'll come out of it with all the support you need, with all of the gifts, with all of the intellect, with all of the growth that is necessary in order to move forward into the next space. And then that next space is just going to be so worth the wait, so worth the uncomfortableness, that or so worth the time that was invested in this Wheel of Fortune energy. This child here is giving to this other child. This is an older child giving to a younger child. So what it is, and not necessarily, you're not a child, clearly, hopefully not, because this is for 18 and up. So but what I'm saying is that you kind of open your heart and you surrender in a way that is you're able to just freely give back to those who may be not as seasoned as you, that may not be as experienced as you, that may be younger than you, that come before you. Maybe this is your children. This could just be students. Maybe you're a teacher of some sort, or you're destined to be, and not necessarily a school teacher, but just anything. Maybe you learn something, you pick up on something that you're able to pass down to others. It could be the gift of just being able to be resilient. Like, you can teach that to others. There's so many different things that could be that you're passing on. But I feel like you, for one, this is a Knight of Cups. The Knight is one step down from the King, two steps down from the Emperor. So it's not as if you're like a baby to this. Again, for some of you, this may be something you've been in for a while. You maybe you may have been experiencing this Wheel of Fortune, or these faded moments. They just keep popping up. Maybe you're going through a cycle here that you just can't seem to get out of. And I feel like, or you feel like you can, at least. That's what it's looking like. But the uplifting message here through these cards alone, I haven't even gotten to the Oracle, but through these cards alone, it's just so powerful. And it just, as long as you continue, once you get into this, once you have all of what it is that you need, once you have the emotional backing, the emotional maturity needed to move forward, you won't even look back at that. You won't even be concerned with what it is that you're going through right now. You'll be able to say, I got through it. This is what I learned from it, and I'm never going back to it again. Like, that's the type of energy this Knight of Cups gives going into this. Like, in one moment you have it in your hand, and the next moment you're passing it on to the next person. So this is all knowledge. This is all like experience that we're talking here. And maybe not even that. It could go deeper than that. You could be building something so big where you're able to emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, whatever the case, just give back to others in a way. But I do see here, once you are up out of this moment that just seems to never end, and I understand it, but we have to look at it from a perspective that is higher than ours, and know that we don't have control over the wheel. We just have control over what we do while we're on it. And if you are to just stay focused on the positives, as difficult as that may be at times, and even if you weren't, even if you sway and you were to focus on the more negative or uncomfortable, it's just to find the positive in those anyway. And that is what's going to strengthen you. That's what you're going to have to endure a few uncomfortable, or maybe even like painful in a sense. And it's not necessarily, this isn't to scare anyone. It's just to be realistic in terms of life, because we're going to go through these cycles and it'll feel like, oh my gosh, why is it happening to me? It's happening to you so that you can be ready for your next season. And that's literally the short answer. That is what it is in a nutshell. It's not a punishment. It is not anything you're doing wrong. It may be something you're not grasping that's continuing the cycle, but as far as the backing on why it's happening to you, it's not like, God's picking on you saying, let that happen to you. It's not that. So I think it's worth just being more focused on this Knight of Cups, Six of Cups energy. And if you are to focus on the Wheel of Fortune energy, which is the energy in which you're in, just to continue to keep the faith and make sure that your resilience and knowing the true meaning of what it is to endure something is. Because oftentimes when we think of enduring the pain, enduring the uncomfortableness, enduring the lesson of something, we think of it in a more negative way. But pain turns into, like, depending on how you work, you are in so much control of your life. You're in so much control over what you do and how you look at things. So pain is subjective. Uncomfortableness is subjective. It's all about your perspective. There have been so many times where I can even insert myself in it, not to make this reading about me, but I have literally had to force my way into a different way of thinking. Why? Because the goal depended on it. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that we all as humans have gotten to a point where it's like, okay, you can either sit in this uncomfortableness and find your way out. And I feel like what's going to happen for you, it's a fated moment, but you have this resilience, you have this support you need. You're going to find your way up out of this thing. And once you are out of it, you're going to have a lesson, a gift, an experience, or something that you can take on and pass on to the next person and be able to say, okay, listen, this is how I did it. You don't necessarily have to do it like me, but this is my advice. This is my gift to you. This is how I handled it, and it's on you, blah, 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 whatever. You know what I mean? It could be different things for everybody, but this is just an example. I'm going to get into your oracle now and read off those and see what I pick up. So your first Angels of Abundance Oracle card says moonlighting. You can start working on your dream career part-time while keeping your other job to pay the bills. Soon your dream career will take flight and fully support you. So yes, so this Wheel of Fortune for some of you could be a job. Maybe you're feeling like small. Maybe you're feeling like you don't have much to give. Maybe you're feeling like you're stuck in this cycle of like, when is it going to be my turn? It will be your turn. But right now, seeing as though you're moving into this Knight of Cups energy and you're not fully in the Six of Pentacles, I keep wanting to say Six of Pentacles, the Six of Cups energy, you are still in this learning season. So you're going to have to continue on with this Wheel of Fortune moment where you may be at the job. You may have to work a little longer than you anticipated. However, that job is going to fund, it's going to fully support, it's going to back what it is that you're moving into in ways that you may not even be able to see right now. I'm not sure what the term moonlighting actually means, but the moon in tarot is all about like hidden secrets. It's about things being revealed. It's about like just dark times and maybe not being able to see the full picture of things. And I think that's currently what's happening here, is that you feel like maybe this is happening to you and not for you. And it's all about just your perspective and how your ability to flow with the times or flow with your experiences and not look at them as things that are happening to you as opposed to for you. Then your second one says abundance mindset. If you think of your abundance as something that happens in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. See, feel, think, and speak of abundance as something you already have in the present moment, and that is what you will experience. Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. I think that what's the uplifting message here, granted, you may not be in the best mood to hear what I'm about to say, but I feel like I stressed it a lot, but it is all in your perspective. Even if you are at a job you literally hate, maybe if you're a hard worker, if you're an overachiever, and say, for example, you feel like your job just takes advantage of the fact that you are those qualities, check this out. If your pay is going to be the same, I'm dropping cards. If your pay is going to be the same, if your hours are going to be the same, if you're not getting a raise, if you're not getting like any type of promotion, if you're not feeling like you are being valued, if you're clearly not, above all your feelings, if it's very much clear to you that you are being taken advantage of in any situation, if this is a job, if this is a relationship, and you will know without throwing a pity party or anything like that. If you don't even have to do that without being able to tell, then scale back a bit. At that point, it's about setting boundaries. It's not so much about the job. It's not so much about what people are doing to you. It becomes, what can I do to change this? If my circumstances around me can't change, what can I change to make my circumstances better? And I feel like with this Knight of Cups, the Knight of Cups again is still learning. It's not a King of Cups. The King of Cups is the is emotionally evolved. They're not really. He's not really doing too much learning anymore. I mean, there's always room for growth, but the King is pretty set, pretty even keeled in his emotions, and he knows like, okay, this is what I have to do. Being this Knight, and if you want to be able to take something with you, as far as emotions go, take your take the ability to support yourself emotionally with you. Take the law of take setting boundaries very seriously in terms of, reciprocation. If you feel like something isn't happening for you, or if you know, if it's clear and it's very much factual that you are like in this cycle and it's yielding no results or little to no results, at that point you have to ask yourself, why am I doing so much for something that's not doing as much for me? And that's with anything. And if you were to do that, you could kind of balance it out to a point where you're like, okay, I don't feel as bad about giving this because I know I'm getting this. So I don't feel as bad about getting this because I'm only giving that. Like, I'm going to do the bare minimum because I'm getting paid the bare minimum. I'm going to, and I'm not giving advice on anyone to lose their jobs or anything, but I'm saying if you are in any situation where there's lack, you're supposed to have an abundance mindset, not a lack mindset. So what can you do to balance that out, to create an abundance mindset so that you can be content with where you are? Otherwise, you're going to continue to seek fulfillment. You're going to continue to be in these Wheel of Fortune moments, wondering why it's happening to you and not for you. So it's all about balancing it out physically, mentally, and emotionally. It has to look, feel, and sound and just operate on the same level on every frequency. You cannot go into something thinking that you can give the same results or give the same, same quality of whatever and expect different results. If you continue to put yourself out there, bend over backwards, be a doormat, be this, be that, in this Wheel of Fortune moment, you're going to find yourself there over and over and over again because you're not taking what it is out of this lesson in order to move forward. So the uplifting message here is that, once again, you will move into this Knight of Cups energy and be able to take this Six of Cups. You'll be able to give back and give more and be abundant. You'll have leftovers. You'll have more than enough for you and them, versus being stuck here where it's like, oh, why is it? No, we have to change that. So coming through for you, work on what you have to work on in the moment and just shift that perspective if you can, because that is what's going to determine how you move forward. What your ability to give is going to look like in the end. Once you, and again, like I said, he's holding this cup in one, and then the next one he's giving it off. That's what you want. You don't want to be lacking. You don't want to feel like you're not supported, because God does support you. God wants the best for you. It's just a matter of you seeing it for yourself. And a lot of times we have to learn these lessons in the uncomfortable times. We there's literally no way around it. That's the best time to learn them. It's through the uncomfortableness, because once you're out of it, you can breathe easy. You can reflect and see, okay, this is what I did. Let me even go as far as to write that down so I know for the future. How do I go about it when it comes up again, or something like it comes up again? So, next oracle we have Milk and Honey, represented by the number 51. Milk and honey, the land of milk and honey is And I'm going to read that out of the book, probably. I have to look for the phone. But I'm going to read that out of the book. The land of milk and honey is in the Bible. It's the most abundant place there is. You don't feel like once you're there, you don't miss out on anything because you have everything. And that's the Six of Cups energy here. The Six of Cups energy is the land of milk and honey, and that's where you want to get to. And it's represented by the number 51, which goes down to the number 6. Yes, this is perfect. And then there's an elephant with the trunk up. Elephants with their trunk up represent like good luck, abundance, and not even that, but milk and honey in itself. I actually looked this up the other day. It's crazy, but milk and honey in itself is very good for the respiratory system, I believe. This is your ability to breathe right now, because right now with these wheels turning, it's very rigid, it's very tight, it's no room for movement. Wherever this energy is, you have to literally will yourself up out of this so that you're able to move forward into this Six of Cups, into this milk and honey energy. And then there's a rainbow here as well. Rainbows just symbolize like the gift after the storm, like after it rains there's a rainbow, and that right there is the reflection. There's the beauty in all that you just went through right there, and you can't, there's no denying it. There's literally no denying it. I'm going to read these out of the book. I just want to get through them. And then there's the tribe. That's represented by the number 8. 8 is what? The strength card in tarot. The tribe is all about finding yours. So again, if this is a job, if this is like a set of friends, if this is weird family members that are acting weird toward, it could be anything. But this is about finding your people, finding your tribe, finding what works for you, finding a routine that works for you, finding the people that work for you, finding the path that works for you, and not settling for less. But on the way there, again, the number 8, on the way there, you may hit a few bumps in the road that'll test your strength, that'll test your will to survive throughout it. And then your last card, you have blessed, represented by the number 22. And that you are. I think God wants you to know your uplifting message above all other things is that you are blessed and you are worthy beyond measure. Despite what it looks like on the outside, once again, it is what it is. So the tribe in the Oracle book, it says, this card signals a new affiliation with the group. Humans are social creatures, and we need to know we are useful to our tribes, families, and communities. In a tribe, everyone has an important function and feels I matter. Membership in the group provides a sense of belonging, of kinship, and of purpose that comes from working together for the greater fulfillment of all. Perhaps you are a part of a spiritual community or an artistic one. Perhaps you are in a learning community where you share your love of education. Regardless of if it's form or focus, your community brings you joy. You will be inspired by it and want to contribute to it. Your contribution may be as small as showing up or as large as becoming its leader. No matter your position in the tribe, your presence is needed. So I feel like this can go either way, whether this is a job that you can't stand or if it's where you're on your way to. I feel like once you get into this Six of Cups energy, this will have more meaning towards you, for you, just because of the path that you're on. But even in this Wheel of Fortune energy, say this is a job that you just literally can't stand. And it's like, why the hell am I here? Because you are there, because you're supposed to be there, because you have a job that they said you were qualified to do. Now, my thing is, when it becomes an overburden, when it becomes overkill, when you are overworking, when you are slaving away, when you are being taken advantage of, that's where you have to go ahead and call the shots and set whatever boundaries need to be set there. But you can't depend on other people too if that's the lesson you're supposed to learn as well. So I think it would be very, very beneficial to you to actually start putting forth more of not even more of an effort, because when I say more of an effort, I mean in your own self, because there's a reason you're so uncomfortable here, and a part of it could be because of what you're going through, But I'm pretty sure a big part of it is because of your mental, your mindset, and things of that nature. It's all, and your emotions about the situation, whether you like it or not. Because I can say the same, like, for anybody, even myself. There are times when we're in these situations and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't like to be here. I don't want to be here. I don't deserve to be here. And the thing about deserving to be in a situation, that's not on us. That's not on me. That's not on you. It's not about deserving, because at that point it becomes, this is happening to me and not for me. It's always important to know it's bigger than us, and it's not just what it looks like on the surface. Um and then your card blessed here, represented by 22, says, there are moments in life when out of the blue it seems that everything has been orchestrated by divine intervention. You feel blessed in ways that are difficult to express. It's as if the Red Sea parts in front of you and events come together to banish your troubles easily and naturally. You know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. This is one of those times. Let awe and gratitude for all your blessings guide you now. Going back to what I said about deserving it. You see, it says, you know deep down you did not deserve any of it, and yet here you are. It's all in your mindset. It's not about deserving. Sometimes we have to go through seasons before we get ready for the prepper, like, in order to prepare us for, again, this land of milk and honey. I purposely want to read that one last because I feel like that is the ending here with this Six of Pentacles. I truly, truly do. I feel like this moonlighting card goes perfectly with the Wheel of Fortune, and then this milk and honey goes perfectly with the Six of Pentacles, because that's the end goal there. That's where you are trying to get to. You're trying to be able to breathe. You're trying to be able to push forward. You're trying to be able to give back and elevate and be abundant. You're trying to have more than enough. And, or not even trying to have, but that's the end goal there, is for you to have more than enough. So with milk and honey, it says, you've entered a sweet time in your life, enjoying the land of milk and honey that everyone wants to experience. It's an interlude that feels more languid than ambitious, when all your senses are awake to the unlimited possibilities in the universe. These times are precious and only come when you're in your authentic zone, wearing the world as a loose garment, not wanting, yet able to be nourished in ways both tangible and subtle. Abundance is an energy that you are a living part of. All your needs are being met. You are given the gift of nourishment in every form. Yes, that's going back to what I was saying about not necessarily trying. That's just the end goal. Like, you want these things. You are, a part of you is trying, but I think you want to be more internal on this one. You want to think more. It's going to sound crazy, but you want to think outside of the box that you do think in, that you do operate in. Um, you want to be able to see outside of your circumstances, if that makes sense. You're going to have to think bigger than your circumstance in this one, because at the end of the day, once you get here to this land of milk and honey, the Six of Cups energy, and you are able to give back, this is not the story you're going to be paying attention to. You're not going to be paying attention to, why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? This and that. You're going to completely understand why it happened to you. You're going to understand, or why it happened for you, rather. I'm sorry. Why it happened for you. You're going to understand the steps it takes in order to not get back there. And not only that, but you're also going to see the upside to having that situation happen. Because again, for some of you, this is a job related situation, and whether you realize it or not now, whether this is paying for you financially, it could be paying for you emotionally, it could be paying for you mentally. And I mean, as far as being able to endure things, because again, endurance is required in order to master strength. You need to be able to endure things in order to gain strength. That's just like with working out. Think about it like working out. I know it sounds crazy, but rock with me. Think about it like working out. You start out at what, 5, 10 pounds, whatever. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But over time, you're going to have to go up to 15 and 20. Do you think it's going to be uncomfortable? Yes, it will. Why? Because it's more weight, but it's also going to gain more muscle. And at some point, that 20, 10, 20, 30 pounds is going to be light for you. You're going to go up to 40, 50 pounds. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you have to look at these uncomfortable situations that you're in moving forward. And as difficult as it may sound, the uplifting message is that once you are and you do gain the ability to be able to do that, you're going to be knocking everything out. You're going to be able to take the cup and pass it down. You're going to be able to move forward onto the next thing. And that is so important here. So I dropped the affirmation cards. So I'm going to pick them up and then, I dropped some of them. Some of them are here, but I'm going to get the rest. And then, okay. So I dropped a couple. I'm going to situate these. And I'm going to shuffle a couple, see what comes out. Now, these affirmations are for the start to your day. So depending on where you're watching this, you can apply this to whatever part or whatever. But I just wanted to pull a couple and see what affirmations would come out to benefit pile one that they could take with them. So. Okay. Today I am confident. Today I am who I am, and I am capable of doing anything that I put my mind to. That is right. That's what I was saying. It goes back to your mind. It always goes back to your mind and the way you think about things. It's all in the way you think about things. Like, you're literally the center of your world. So everything that happens outside of you is just playing a part in it. So again, it all starts with you. Today I am respectful. Today I will acknowledge other people's thoughts and feelings as well as my own. Okay, so maybe some of you are maybe taking a certain stance on it, or you're being a certain way to other people. Again, going back to what I was saying with this, that's crazy. So your world is your world. That you wake up and you live in your world, but everybody else is literally a part of it. So it's important to know and be considerate of other people's feelings, other people and what they may be going through, because you're not the only one that may be having a Wheel of Fortune moment right now. You know, whether you see it or not, whether it feels like it, whether people tell you or not, just remember to remain respectful, because again, when you're in this Knight of Cups energy and you're passing down this cup, what do you want to be passing down? Respect or disrespect? You know what I mean? You want to be passing down good knowledge, good experiences, not even good experiences, but just good takeaways from the experience, and not like, oh, well, I mean, there's always going to be things people say, oh, I could have did this better, I could have did that better, blah, blah, blah. But if you can start today and just be more mindful, do that. And then your last one here says, today I move forward. Today I see each obstacle as an opportunity to learn and grow. Just what I was saying with this Wheel of Fortune. Use those I'm telling you, use those Wheel of Fortune moments. Oh, I'm telling you from experience. I know I ain't no like perfect. I'm just human, but like as a person talking to another person, I'm telling you, those are the ones. Those are the ones you're gonna be like, oh, I did that. I did that. I aced that. I got through it, and God really was not doing that to me. It was all for me, and it all makes sense. That's what you want in the end. So, okay. So I'm done with that. I'm gonna pull from the Beyond. Oh shit, Beyond the Self Oracle deck here. I'm gonna see what comes out for that one. You're too amazing to follow everyone else. Forge your own path. So maybe some of you have like an idea that's like maybe far-fetched. Like maybe it's tarot reading and you're a damn lawyer or something. Or maybe it's being an astronaut and you're a doctor. I'm just throwing things out there. Maybe it's so like far off from what everyone else is doing, and those are the more amazing things. Stick with it. Don't ever get discouraged. Don't think it's stupid. Don't think it's dumb. Don't think it ain't gonna work, especially if at least one other person's doing it. And even if they're not, so what? Forge your own path. But I can guarantee you, if this is something that like maybe one or a few people do, continue to go for it, because it's a reason it came into your mind. It's a reason why you're trying to stick with it. Then you have guilt is a normal feeling. Just breathe in and let it go. back to what I was saying about breathing, milk and honey. I'm telling you, look that up. Look that up. I'm telling you, it's really good for respiratory issues and stuff. But it's just interesting how breathing comes back once you get to this. It's normal to feel like, okay, why is this happening? It's normal to feel like that, but the key is to be abnormal. The key is to twist that around. Don't let the negativity in. Don't let the toxicity in. Don't let the discouragement in. Don't let the guilt in. Release it, acknowledge, okay, it's there. I coulda, shoulda, woulda did it this way. Now I'm stuck in this wheel of fortune energy. No, you did it exactly the way your path was aligned for you to do it. There's always going to be something you could have done differently. There's something that everybody could have done differently. Hindsight is 2020. It's always better. You can see very clearly once you pass the thing. You're like, oh, I could have did that. It's not for you to handle. That's not for you to take in. That's not for you to internalize or any of that. And then your last one, stop caring about what people think. This is your life to love and live. Going back to this, you're too amazing to follow everybody else. Fuck everybody else. Excuse my language, but not really, because I don't care. This is your life to live, and this is your life to love and live. You only get this one time. As far as you know. As far as we know, we've only done this one time, and it's important to know that if you don't get to do it again, even if you did get to do it again, you wouldn't remember this time. So it's important to go through it now in the way that, as long as it's respectable, it's not hurting anybody, it has good intentions behind it, it's uplifting, it's enlightening, it's the pathway to God, it's the pathway to heaven, it's the pathway to the land of milk and honey. Then go for it. Don't let anybody stop you, not even yourself. Not even yourself. It's so important to just take care of yourself, take care of your mind emotionally, all the things. You just really, really, really want to make sure that you are putting your best foot forth, that you aren't internalizing anything too much. You're not really creating your story out to be one of victimhood, and it's more so one of lessons and learning and enlightenment. But I don't know. Power One, this is all I have for you, and I thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed doing this. I pray it resonates with you all. If it does, please let me know down in the comments. You can like, you can subscribe. But just let me know. Yeah, if you want to book a personal session with me, you can do that over at my website, www.theangelicmuse.com. I'm also available for distance Reiki sessions on my site, and then of course the intuitive tarot sessions. If you want, you can follow me over on Instagram at theangelicmuse.com as well. But other than that, I thank you so much for being here, and I pray you enjoy the rest of your day or your night. Hey, Pal 2. So if you chose this Mookaite Jasper, I believe it's called. I Googled that one. I don't know. Then here is your reading. So I'm going to start out with your tarot as always, and then I'm going to pull these oracle here, and then I have two affirmations deck, and then another oracle deck I'm going to live shuffle on camera. But we're going to start with your tarot. So your first card, you have the Queen of Wands. Second card is the Death card in reverse. And then your third card is the Star card upright. So you have two major arcana here. And then there's you. So uplifting message. The minute I did this with Power One, I just kind of like did it in a nutshell. The minute you surrender the fear of change, the fear of becoming undone, you will open yourself up to a whole new world of experiences, opportunities, and abundance that you're able to pour back into yourself. You're like, you literally have to, okay. So what I'm seeing here is that this Queen of Wands here, she's fully clothed. She is in her spot. Queens know their position. They know what it is that they're here to do. They know, it's like you're almost in this sense of obligation and stability. And there's nothing wrong with this. However, it's you're not able to really tap into your true Queen of Wands talents, your attributes, the attributes of it, because you're not surrendering to it. Now, it's interesting because death is the number 13, while the card of the star card is the number 17. So it kind of jumps here, but I feel like what's going to happen is that because you have so much potential, so many great qualities about you already that you don't even know. It's almost like untapped potential that you literally can't see because you're so afraid of moving forward, so afraid of this big jump. Like, it's almost like a leap. I get it though, because death is scary. Death is like, it's unknown. It's a whole big fear. We really don't know what happens after it. But the beautiful part about it is that it's just the beginning of something else. And I feel like the uplifting message here for you is that it's okay to surrender to that. It's okay to become undone, to be done again. It's okay to not have to feel so closed off. It's okay to not have to feel like you have to live up to a certain way. I feel like you may be putting these Queen of Wands talents and attributes and qualities into things that don't serve you, and it ends up kind of running you dry in the end. You don't really get to tap into your Queen of Pentacles, your Queen of Cups, your Queen of Swords energy, because you're always doing. You feel like you got to be fired up. You feel like you have to show up a certain way. You have to be the bright face for everyone else. And it's holding you back from your true fulfillment. That's just how I feel with this energy here. And it's interesting because the Queen of Wands is represented by fire. And like I was saying, I don't feel like you're able to truly tap into any of your other qualities. The star card, she's surrounded by water, she has earth, and then there's air. There's literally no fire. I mean, we can consider the stars to be fire, like gases, like balls of fire, but like, no, I'm talking about everything else. There's literally no fire in the star card. And I think it's about less doing and more like internal inventory being done. You want to check all the boxes off there and find out why it is that you're so fearful. If you don't already know why you're so fearful of this change, is it because you are afraid of looking a certain way? Is it because you're afraid of operating in a certain light? You know, whatever that may be, find out what that fear is and attack it and tackle it and get rid of it, because fear has no place and no space for where it is that God is trying to take you to. You want to be fearless. You want to, and I understand, like, you know, humans are equipped to, you know, moving forward, especially with something as big as death, something as big as changing over, like you're doing probably a complete 180 for some of you. Like it's going to feel so new. For some of you, it might be 90 degrees. Others, it might be 45. But for a lot of you, I feel like it's more of a 180 type thing. You're going to have to change up your whole routine in this. But the uplifting, beautiful, positive part of this is that it's going to show you a new you, that you're going to peel off so many layers that it's going to amaze you. This girl's hair doesn't even look the same after she's done. Like she has brownish orange hair and it goes to blonde. So maybe this is like a whole identity change. And there's people that don't, there are some of you that don't know how others are going to be receptive to it. You don't even know how you're going to be receptive to it. But here's the thing. You're on this throne here. You have this seat. And it's made for you. You can always, a queen, you're this doesn't, with queens, you don't, you're not dethroned. You have to literally die in order to not be queen anymore. So here's the thing. What are you the queen of in this story currently that you're in? And what do you want to add on to your resume? Is what I'm hearing. Um and again, like I said, this goes from the death card all the way to the star card. So, and it's not to say you'll necessarily skip steps, it's just to tell you what is to come of this. The hanged man didn't come out from this. The tower didn't come out from this. You got the star. The star is all about surrendering to what is destined to be, what you're called to be. It's about pouring back into yourself, about pouring back into what you are growing, what is already abundant. This is already abundant. She's just adding to it. There's already water here. She's putting more water into it. Why? Nobody knows. It won't make sense until you get there. It won't make sense until you get there, but I'm pretty sure she has a reason for it. It's just everybody's reason is going to be different. Let me get into these oracle cards here and see what comes up. So you have, well, you know what? Yeah, I'll start with these first. I already pulled it out. So you have breathe for your first card, represented by the number 29. You have truth be told, represented by the number 14. Then you have observer, represented by the number 49. So here's the thing with the breathe card. Again, I do feel like here with this Queen of Wands energy, it's all about doing, whereas here she's surrounded by earthly elements. She's in the air. She's feeling the breeze. She's naked. Like, matter of fact, I don't even know. I be seeing girls cover that up. So, or readers cover that up. So I'm just going to cover it up. I've had it here for so long. I don't even know. I'm just going to cover her with a crystal. But, with this observer card, I was being observant there. Yeah. So I think this is all about how you look at things. Again, looking at perspective. That's just like this coyote here is sitting on an egg. Eggs are about fertility. It's about birth. It's about what you want to be born from that. But not only that, but the coyote is looking at the moon. The moon goes through phases at all times. So it's never in the same phase. Like, it may be in the same sign for a couple days or something, but it's constantly, because the sun and the way that it aligns, it's constantly at a shift, and it's either waning or it's waxing. And it's all about whether or not, it's all about how you view it. It's all about whether you are looking to build upon what you're already doing, or if you're willing to release what's happening to you. And it's all about, again, like I said, surrounded by air. It's about breathing, taking a second. It's a stop to second guess whatever it is that you're doing. Not even second guess it, but just go over it a second time, because there's so much doing with the Queen of Wands. She's very active. She's so active to the point where she doesn't want to stop, and she doesn't want to surrender to her normal routine. And I feel like you're being called to stop and to breathe, and and not only that, but she looks older. And something that is coming to my mind when I look at her is how a lot of people, as they age and they get older, a big thing that they'll say is, I wish I didn't care so much about other people's opinions. I wish I didn't care so much about just the little things, the shit that didn't matter. Because you get to the end of your life or close to it, and you realize, like, oh my goodness, that shit really ain't matter. And I spent all this time when I could have just surrendered to it and just let it happen for me. I could have just let it go, and God would have take care of it for me regardless. Not only that, I'm going to read these out the book, but not only that, but with this truth be told here, I almost thought it was a mirror. Like, as a reflection, like somebody looking at themselves, but what it looks like is just a bunch of hearts, and that looks like clouds and stuff. But underneath this owl is a mask. I think that what this is saying is that for one, you need to take the mask off. Take the mask off, take the whatever facades you were believing in, whatever fantasy worlds that you desired or you wanted for yourself. I think you're going to have to first come to terms with you doing all of this. You being in such a doing stage is not going to get you any closer to it. And again, this is an uplifting message, so I want you to take this with love and with know that I'm being very respectful. I'm being very open and honest and respectful when I say this, but there's no amount of anything you can do that will stop what is supposed to happen for you. You will literally either stay stuck and just be burned out forever, or you will have to surrender to it and become what you are destined to be. And this is honestly, I feel like you're being led to know that the latter is what is going to get you the results that you want, not your actions. Again, going back to this observer card, sometimes you do have to stop doing and just sit back and watch what can happen for you. And in the midst of you doing that, there may be a moment where you have to have an ego death. You have to spiritually transition. You have to mentally transition. You have to emotionally transition over into this new thing. Death is nothing but a transition into the next life, if you're thinking about it in terms of our experience here. Death is nothing but a transition over into the next life. So the same way we would die in that sense is the same way you would be dying here. Not physically, but just mentally, emotionally. You have to get rid of certain qualities. The Queen of Wands, she's very assertive. She's very fiery, like she is. So at times you may have to scale back and say, listen, let me just operate in some Queen of Cups for a moment, some Queen of Pentacles. Let me slow down. Let me put more emotion into this. Let me put more intellect, more thought into this. Let me see if this is really what I want for myself. Let me see if this is really what I want for my family. Let me see if this is really what I want for the long haul, or if it could be something else that I'm avoiding here that is going to eventually propel me forward into the right state. Even if I got to take all this shit off and start all over, if that's what God has for me, then that's what I'm a rock with. Why? Because I'm called to believe in something bigger than me and know that, listen, as long as I'm co-creating with you, I know you got me. And that's just what it is. Sometimes that's literally all you can lean on is faith, blind faith at that. And I understand that Wands, fiery energy is more masculine, is more doing. But sometimes you have to be able to balance that with the feminine energy of water or the feminine energy of earth elements. So let me read your angels of abundance. Have courage to ask for and accept help. Asking for help is a sign of strength, as is accepting it is as it is offered to you. Very often when you ask God for help, prayers are answered through other people. Be sure to accept this existence as well as give it to others as you are guided. And then your second one says gratitude list. Counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of fixated on worries in your mind. What and who are you grateful for right now? Keep focusing upon gratitude and you'll discover the amazing generosity of this universe. Now, I wasn't going to say this, but if you were drawn to more than one pile here, then I do suggest you taking a second look at that pile just to see if anything resonates with you. But if not, then that's totally fine. You can stay right here with me. So, but the only reason I say that is because it really does just tie into one of the other piles. But you want to, with these experiences where you'll have to like literally let everything go and maybe start over fresh, having the courage to ask for and accept help is bigger than, you asking people, you asking your friends, you asking your family for advice. Because oftentimes, you find that the human opinion, the human perspective can be flawed if it's not coming from a source higher, or it's not. Sometimes you can just tell if your intuition is there. You could tell when somebody is sharing something with you that's just not. You just know. And I feel like with you being here, you will just know. I feel like your intuition is hopefully strong enough to the point where you can discern between what is help and what is hindrance. But one type of help that you cannot discredit, you cannot deny, is God's. And that is why I stress so much the importance of, like, with these death moments, when you have to surrender. My main source in my life is a higher source, because we're living in very trying times right now. And to add a death into it, or an ego death, or just an entire change, it can be a bit overwhelming. So you're being encouraged here to go seek the higher source that you call upon, whether that's God, whether that's the universe, your higher self, Allah, anybody, whoever it is that you believe in, whoever it is that you call on to. You're being encouraged to do that, and to know that the help that you are asking for, you may be asking, say you're like, oh my gosh, I want to get out of this situation. God, please help me. God may set it up for you to get out of the situation, but it may not be in the way that you are expecting it to be. It may be very uncomfortable, but that's only because you're being pushed to something higher. And you're being encouraged to go for it. Your body, your ego is going to keep you there every time because it wants to save you. And if you are Queen of Wands energy, again, that's very masculine. That's very egoic. Like, that is a very powerful element. Fire in itself, it has the capability to destroy damn near anything. So you want to go into it with an even kind of like mind, an even keeled perspective, and know that, okay, my way may not always work, but I know a way that will. And that's this way. I'm just going to push through it. Use that energy to push through this death moment. But use that energy to be able to take off the garments, to take off the mask, to take off the crown. Put the wand down for a moment. Focus on, you're probably hot. Okay, focus with the way these temperatures been going lately. I don't know where you live at, but you're probably hot. Take these clothes off. No, but seriously. And again, gratitude list. Counting your blessings and feeling great gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart. This is all about being present in the moment and knowing that God will carry you through every moment, even your death moments. But I am still going to read those out of the book here. Hold on, let me just pull them up. So it says, I'm going to read the breathe one first, and that one is, it says here, patience in all things is called for right now. What do you need to do when you're in a rush? Slow down, of course. Meditate and trust. Breathe and repeat. Humans cannot exist without drawing breath. Now is the time to allow the life-giving element of air to replenish your body, your being, and your very essence. Stop to smell the roses, breathe in the sunlight, and release the darkness, and miracles will appear. This is, again, I know I doubled back, but I went on to read these. But this is going back to this star moment when you just get out of that fiery element and you breathe. Maybe some of you literally need to get outside, get some air, connect with God, connect with the grass, connect with the land, connect with trees, connect with flowers, connect with the breath. Just literally take silence. Don't take silence for granted. Take it and just steal 10 minutes of it. Just straight silence. Sit out in a park if you can, even if you can sit out in your car with the windows down and just, I know that isn't necessarily ideal because you're not touching the ground, but just to be able to get some air, find some quiet time, some peace, because with this Queen of Wands, it just seems like you're so busy ripping and running that you don't even have time. Some of you may not even realize that what you need to do is change. Some of you are being avoidant of it and you're afraid. You know it's creeping up on you and it's telling you, listen, this is what you're being called to do and you're being avoidant. But then there's others of you who don't take the time to observe. You don't take the time to breathe. You don't take time to connect with the earthly elements or yourself even, because your spirit is not of this world, but your body is. And in order to literally like become meshed with it, I'll say in a sense, you have to connect with it on some level. You have to, in order to be in tune with it. And then let me see. Truth be told, here, this one says there is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is. Peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and spirit will answer with miracles. That is this death card all the way. There is the truth, and then there is a truth, which is subjective to the believer. You can either, but you literally may be called to another pile. But because it's just giving all the vibes. But this is going back to what I was saying. You have to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be honest in your communication with others. Even going back to this, have courage to accept and ask for help. If you're just going, maybe your thing is you have to surrender to the fact that you need help with things. Maybe your truth is you have to surrender to the fact that you can't do it all. You know, the uplifting message here is that you don't have to. You don't have to. You have God. And if you have a physical support system, if you have family, if you have friends, if you have a support system that's been calling out to you saying, hey, do you need this, this, and this? And you're like, no, I don't need it. Yes, you do. And the importance here, the lesson here is to learn how to say you do. That uplifting message is the moment you are honest and you're real and you're truthful about your truth and not just what it looks like, not just what this mask looks like. Then you'll be able to strip that off, become the star that you're meant to be, that God's meant. You know, sometimes the lesson in life isn't as big as we think it is. Sometimes our life lessons aren't as huge and grand. Sometimes the lesson and even something as simple as asking for help, for somebody that is a big thing. Like for some people, and you may be one of those people where it's like that's a huge thing, but for other people, they're like, you can't ask for help. No, I can't, because I'm so used to doing it on my own. So it's important to know truth is subjective. Somebody else to be like, oh, blah, 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 it's not that deep. Yes, it is to you. And it's not that you are being a victim to it. You have to acknowledge, like, okay, this is my thing. I'm afraid. I need to know how to move forward. I need to know that somebody gonna hold my hand through it. And just know that somebody will. God is going to hold your hand every step of the way as long as you call on him. So, last but not least, we have the observer card here. This one says, most people see the world through a personal lens. They closely identify with their feelings and experiences, so much so that they come to believe that these are the only reality. There are times when you need distance in order to gain perspective and understand your circumstances from a more neutral vantage point. Now is one of those times in your life. This is a perfect moment for you to begin doing some exploring. Instead of only considering yourself, consider what you need to understand about the conditions, people, culture, and environment you're engaged with now. You'll be so happy you did. Illumination is the miracle you seek and will indeed find. Yes, going back to what I was saying about getting outside, breathing, the star. Take some time for yourself so you can know what's what. You could be being everything to everybody, and it's causing you to maybe have, or some of you to have some bitterness towards it. You're like, I have to do all of this for all these people, but what about me? And the thing about it is that you're in full control of what you give and what you put out and how you pull back, whether you feel like you're obligated to it or not. I can name a circumstance for everything. Like say your situation. I can name a situation where it's the opposite. Not even trying to be funny. Say you're like, for example, say you're a mom and you have kids, you have a family, and you feel like you're always going. And your lesson here is to learn how to ask for help. Like, listen, I can't do all this by myself. I can name you some deadbeat moms right now that don't do a damn thing for their kids. And that's, listen, life works out the way that it's supposed to. The point I'm trying to make here is that there's always room to slow down. I'm not saying go be a deadbeat mom in no way, shape, or form. I'm not even saying this is your situation. I'm just using it to put things into perspective for you that you can see, so that you can see if you really sit back and look, your truth is just that, your truth, and you stick with it and you know it for what it is. But in the grand scheme of things, this life shit is bigger than than that circumstance. And you have to know that if you continue to create habits in small circumstances, they're going to trickle out into your other circumstances, and the next thing you know, you're just going to be doing the most all the time. It's just creating this habit that's not benefiting you. I pray this is making sense. I really, really hope it does. But I mean, I feel like it does. But these I can honestly say these readings have been pretty, yeah, today. I love it though. I'm here for it. So right now I'm going to pull some affirmation cards for you, which are like basically messages to start your day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, the night, or whatever, it doesn't really matter. You can apply it to any point in time, but I just want to shuffle a couple for pile twos to see what affirmations will benefit them during this time. Oh, that almost came out, but it didn't. So, today I am powerful. Today my potential to succeed and conquer challenges is limitless. Going back to what I was saying, sometimes you can be the challenge. You could be the hard-headed thing. You want to conquer you have to conquer yourself sometimes. Tell yourself to slow down. Tell yourself to slow down because your potential depends on it. Your potential depends on it, and your ability to succeed depends on it. You do not want to run yourself ragged. Not only that, but you don't want to be fearful of changes that are there to propel you forward. Today I choose. Today I will only surrender myself with people who support me. Going back to what I was saying, if you are around people who, like, not even around people, but if you are doing the most for people who don't support you, you have to kind of like scale back a little. Like, take the load off. If you're in a partnership, say, hey, partner, I need your help. I need your help. I need you to come through for me. You know what I mean? If you have people that love and support you, they want to help you, allow them to. Choose to surround yourself with those people. Why? Because they're there for you and you need them. It's okay to need people. We're human. We all need people. Oh, today I will breathe. Today, as I face challenges, I will call out a mental timeout. I will consciously breathe with my eyes closed and focus on slowing down or slowing my inhalation and exhalation. Breathe, breathe, breathe. I'm telling you, just chill out. Don't even do anything. Don't do anything. Take a moment to yourself and just observe what's going on. Sit back and really look at your life for what it is and say, listen, whether you're hiding from this death moment or whether you're just so busy that you can't see it, know that it is there. Know that it is there and it's waiting for you. It's waiting for you to propel yourself forward. It's waiting for you to strip down, and it's waiting for you to reveal your true identity. So, next is the Beyond the Self Oracle deck. I'm going to pull a couple of those, or allow a couple of those to jump out, and then I will be done. Oh, hold on. That was a mess. That was a mess, y'all. You have the power to create the life you love. Remember that. Remember that. You have the power to create the life you love, and you also have the power to create the life you can't stand. So I say that because, again, if you're a doer, you're constantly doing, and you never stop and slow down, that's essentially, and I know you don't want to hear it, I know it's positive messages, uplifting, but this should uplift you in a way where, listen, I have some control over, I have a lot of control over what it is that I do. And if I need to slow down, it's just that I need to slow down. I might not want to hear it, but in the end, it's going to uplift me. I know that probably was so weird, but I had to say it because on one hand, you have the potential, and that's like you have the power to do all these things and So for some of you burn yourself out, you have the power to let it all go and start over too. You have that. You have that, and God has you. You have the power. Stop ruminating over what you did or didn't do. Let it go. So maybe some of you are in this doing stage because you feel like you have to in order to make up for lost time. You don't. You don't. And then maybe some of you are in this, but you are afraid, like, okay, well, damn, I didn't take the opportunity the last time, so it's not, to do it last time, so it's not going to happen again. Yes, it will. This moment's going to continue to wait for you. This moment's going to continue to wait for you. See, the thing about God is he'll see your potential. He can see your potential. He can see everything that he has in store for you and everything that you called on this earth to do. But then when you choose free will, and we all do, when you choose free will and you go the opposite direction, and that's okay. That's what you want to do, then that's okay. But just know there's consequences for both doing and not doing. And it's not necessarily a hate thing. It's not a I don't like you thing. It's not a you're punished thing. But it's just the way life operates and the way life works, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to pull one more. Do your thoughts need a reboot? Focus on the good in your life. Yes. Gratitude list. I'm going to read this again. Counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of fixated on worries in your mind. You want to know one blessing? I can name one blessing. Matter of fact, I can name 3. Blessing 1, you woke up this morning. Blessing 2, you're breathing. Blessing 3, you got this message. Like, and amongst other messages that I'm pretty sure you may have heard before. You know, do a detox, do a me-tox if you need to, in order to get that gratitude, but be more observant. Stop doing so much and just actually observe what's good in your life. And then maybe that'll give you the ability to slow down and be like, okay, it's okay. It's okay to surrender some things. So, but I do have faith that it'll all work out for you. These cards didn't come out for a reason. And I truly pray that this message resonates with you. If it does, please let me know down in the comments. I really genuinely appreciate when you guys do that, or you just give me a simple like or subscribe if you choose, because there'll be plenty more where that came from. You can also book a personal session with me over on my website if you'd like to do that. That's www.theangelicmuse.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram if you'd like to do that as well, at theangelicmuse. Other than that, this is all I have for you guys, and I pray you enjoy the rest of your day or your Hey Power 3. So if you chose this Petalite, I guess it's called crystal, Petalite, here is your reading. I'm going to start out with your tarot, and then I'm going to pull these oracle here, and then I'm going to pull some affirmation cards as well as another oracle, live shuffle on camera, after I get done with this. So, first card you have is the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Your second card is the Knight of Cups. Then your third card is the Queen of Pentacles. That is so interesting. This went from the 4 of Pentacles in reverse to the Queen of Pentacles. So, this is about money. All about money and the way you look at it. This is about your feeling, your relationships with it completely. You may be like a hoarder. You may be like, I don't know when I'm getting another, financially, you may be going through something like that is very taxing, very restricting. And it's leaning more towards a lack mindset, as opposed to, the abundance. And with this Knight of Cups being the emotional sides of it, it's like everything that is surrounding you, what it looks like right now, is not adding up to what you pictured it as. And you're just at a time where you're kind of limited, where you want to be limitless. With this Queen of Pentacles, she's surrounded by growth. She's surrounded by abundance. She's surrounded by fertility with this rabbit. Like, it just, if I'm not mistaken, rabbits have like a lot of litter at a time. Like, they have a bunch of rabbits at a time. But you're very comfortable here, whereas this doesn't even have the support to hold you up. That block, that cube, it's set there's something about the number 4. Yes, it is about stability, but it's also a square. There's no way out of it. So right now I feel like you're in an energy where you feel like there's no way out of this financial restraint that you're going through. But again, it's just a feeling, because with this Queen of Pentacles here, this is the end goal. This is the desire. This is the potential. This is what you are living up to, essentially. This is what you were going for, essentially. But again, there is something about your emotional relationship with this that maybe you don't come from much money, or maybe you had a lot of money and you kind of fucked it up. Maybe you don't get paid as much as you would like, and you're not able to do everything that you would like to do at this time. But with this Queen of Pentacles energy, it's feeling like, I'm getting the feeling of like you're right on time. You are right where you need to be. You're right in the middle of a lesson that is going to teach you that the power of money is actually what you make it. Money is just a piece of paper. Money is just, money can either be a liability or an asset, depending on how you look at it. A liability is where this 4 of Pentacles energy comes in, where it's like, I have to protect it. I have to keep it. I have to spend a certain way. I can't spend too much here because I need to spend it for here. I got to pay this bill, so I can't pay this bill, or whatever the case may be. It's a lot of overlooking. It's a lot of mine. Whereas Queen of Pentacles energy is, I mean, she only has 1 in her hand, whereas you have it's the same one here, but you're not stepping on it. It's not the first thing on your mind when you wake up this morning. You're not hugging it here. It's just freely there. And I think it's important to know, like, think about it like this. In a world without money, in a world where money was not a thing, and I understand that it is, but just think of it from an intellectual or an emotional aspect. If you never knew what money was, if you were always taken care of, if you had the roof over your head, the food in your stomach, the clothes on your back, the shoes on your feet, if you had all that without money involved, would you still value it as much? And I think for most people who are on this pile, the answer would be no, because you need all of those things. But just keep in mind that it's the things you need or you want, the shoes, the food, the clothes. It's not the money. So it's important to know that what you want is not money. You want stability. You want freedom. You desire that. You desire the ability to be able to gift nice things, to be able to have nice things. It's not the money. So that's why I say it's something with the relationship. With this Knight of Cups is all about emotions and how you're feeling about it. And then to go from a knight to a queen here, it's a level up, which is great. But we have to first focus on this 4 of Pentacles energy, where it's lacking, where it's stern, where it's rigid, where it's, again, it's like mine. And that's not conducive to being able, you wouldn't be able to thrive off that energy. And for most of you, for probably all of you, I'm sure there's no one who actually wants to be in this energy. Maybe there are a few of you who have been burnt by people in terms when it comes to money. Maybe you've done some reflection and you've realized, like, okay, this is the part I played in it. I may have been too overgiving, so now I need to fall back a bit. It's not about falling back on your ability to give or your ability to be abundant. It's about being discerning with who you are like that with. Because there will be times when you're tested with the people, not the action, but the people that you're projecting onto, or you're doing these things with, because that sometimes that is just the lesson in itself, not so much that. So it's important to consider all aspects of the situation before you make a decision on your views in terms of money, because again, it's not the money in itself that is the issue. It's the maintaining of it, the stability of it, the amount of it, the abundance of it, and the fact that it feels more lacking than anything. But the uplifting message here is that when you change your relationship with money and the way you view it and the things that you're able to obtain, that is when it'll start to flow in the way that you want. You have a Knight of Cups and then a Queen of Pentacles. The only thing here is this square, this that you're in, that you can't seem to operate out of. I'm going to get into that in a minute with these oracle here, just to see what else comes out. But the uplifting message here is that with the moment you stabilize your emotions in terms of money is the moment that the stability with everything else will come. The abundance will come. You'll be able to be more receptive. Queens are feminine, which is receptive energy. And not only that, but Pentacles, the earth element, is a feminine one. It's about receptivity, pouring back into the earth so that you're able to receive. And again, you're not able to do that with this Four of Pentacles energy, because you're so and rightfully so, we get it. Things happen in life where it kind of turns you a certain way. That's to be expected. But at the point where it turns you into something that you're not comfortable in, that's when you have to look at it from, again, a higher perspective. And you want to just go a little deeper. Go a little deeper. Because the Four of Pentacles, after the Four of Pentacles comes the Five. And the Five is just, trekking through some more uncomfortable times in terms of money. And the fact that this is upright means you're just stuck in this cycle. You're not even willing to go back to the Three of Pentacles, where you're actually utilizing your resources. You're actually being open to new perspectives, because it seems like when you did do that, it kind of left you feeling, you ended up feeling like you needed to close yourself off because they didn't work in the way that you thought they would, or that the way that you expected them to. But again, it's all about discernment and who you take advice from, who you allow to receive, who you are giving to, things of that nature. But with this Knight of Cups, this could either be you, you changing your own mind, or maybe someone else coming in with a new perspective to give you a different way of thinking about it. One that is more experienced when it comes to their emotions, one that is more equipped, more supported, and they're able to guide you into your Queen of Pentacles energy. I'm going to get into these oracles now. And see, these are from the Angels of Abundance oracle messages, and they say, release resentments about money. Yes, the money system of the world can seem upsetting, but holding resentments about finances just pushes your abundance away. Instead, see money as a tool you can use I can't believe this. See money as a tool you can use to better the world, and this shift will help you attract support and golden opportunities. Going back to what I was saying, maybe someone's going to come in for some of you and just show you a different way. Maybe this is a financial advisor. This could even be a friend. This could even be me just simply telling you, like, listen, it's not the money you want. It's not the resentment. You have a resentment towards money because it doesn't get you the things that you need, the shoes, the clothes, the food, the fun, the leisure time, the travel, whatever. It's not the money you want. It's the freedom to do all of these things. And it's important to not hold so much weight to money, because it's a piece of paper. I get it. It gets its currency. It gets us from A to B. It puts gas in the tank, X, Y, and Z. Understood. But you still have to look at it in a way. You don't want the money. You want the gas for your car. You don't want the money, you want the food. You want to enjoy good food. You don't want the money, you want the trip. You don't want the money, you want the bills paid. You want the money, you want the roof over your head. Things of that nature. So when you go for like, okay, I'm going for this trip. I'm going for this car. I'm going for this home. Not going for the money. That's when you become in this paper chase. You feel like you got to hoard every dime, every penny. Whereas it's like, if you know, okay, I'm building towards this, I can set this money to the side, still have this to be able. You kind of learn different ways to feel about it. Like, okay, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this home. I'm going to get this car. I'm going to get this. I'm going to go on this trip. I don't have to be so rigid about it. I don't have to live in this lack mindset all because I don't have it right now, because I just need to keep the faith that it's going to come. This is what attracts the golden opportunities. This is what attracts the abundance when you're not living in it entirely. And this angel here with this candle is, I don't know why I'm thinking about the hermit card with the lantern and how that's the only thing lighting it. Sometimes you just need that tiny speckle of like faith to just keep you going, to light you up. And I think it's important on this one to, no matter what it looks like, to just pray about it. And just, I know like that sounds so cliche, but there's so much power in your words. There's so much power in what you are putting out into the universe, what you are putting out for other people to hear, to feel, and again, this is not an uncommon, granted, you go through things. It's not uncommon for someone to feel stifled or to feel like, oh my gosh, I got burned in this way, this and that. It's not necessarily like there's anything wrong with you. But again, the uplifting message here is that it will work out for you. It's going to work out for you, and you're going to be sitting so comfortably. You're not going to be on that. I don't even know what that is. It's just a block. You're going to have a whole chair tailor made to you. It's going to be, but it's all in the way you're operating when you have the way you feel about money. You have to release any past resentments you have towards it. You can't like think, okay, I didn't get it. I didn't get this a couple years ago, a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago. It didn't work out for me, so it's not meant to work out for me. I'm not meant to have that thing. I'm not meant to have the bag. I'm not meant to have the shoes. I'm not meant to have the home, whatever the case may be for you. It's not that you're not meant to have it. It's just that your outlook and the way you view money in itself may be too much, if that makes sense. You may be holding it to a higher standard than you need to. Because think about it like this. If you didn't have, say this is just something leisure, like a trip or something. Say this is, and I know for some of you this will be something of importance. Like, why didn't the job work out for me? Why didn't I get the higher paying job? Why didn't I get the promotion? Why didn't I get the raise? Why didn't I, whatever the case may be, it may be a bigger thing. And when you look at it again, your life is seen through your two eyes. So I'm not here to minimize anybody's situation, because I have my own going on, so I get it. But what I'm saying is that when you are looking at it from a grander scheme, the reason it didn't work out for you doesn't necessarily have to do anything with the money. It didn't work out for you because if you would have been there, you'd have been miserable. There's so many different ways to look at it. Not only that, but say you didn't get to go on a trip when you wanted to because you didn't have the money. Maybe the place you were trying to go to, the weather was going to be shitty and you wouldn't have enjoyed yourself. So you didn't need the money at the time. You'll go on to the next year or whenever. Maybe the reason you are finding yourself going through these cycles with money where you're always lacking, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't pay my bills. Maybe because you're not accepting help that's around you. Maybe you're offered help all the time and you're like, oh no, I got it. I can do it myself. I can do it myself. And then you find out you can't do it yourself. And you're like, oh my gosh, I still can't do it myself. But the whole time you're supposed to be learning how to ask for help. The whole time you're supposed to be learning how to like stop. Like maybe you're taken care of in every way, and you're being called to like release the feeling that you have to have every dollar to your name or whatever the case may be. That will literally lighten your vibration just by looking at it in a different way. That'll literally release the resentment for you. You won't even have to do anything for you because your thinking pattern is going to transform in a way that it won't allow you to think in this way any longer. Your next one says successful funding. Your idea is divinely guided and supported by the same infinite wisdom of God that gave you the idea. Do not allow money concerns to prevent you from turning it into reality. Crowdfunding, partnerships, and other investments are available to you. Successful funding. That's just like this. Okay, say you went about something one way, you with the crowdfunding partnerships. Say you asked someone for money and they didn't give it to you. That doesn't mean there's no other outlets for you to get that money. That does not mean that. That doesn't mean there's only one way to, maybe there's only one way you see it. But there's other investments available to help you. Your idea is you didn't get that far. You didn't get this far for any reason other than because it was God given to you. Like you have to keep at it despite the setbacks, despite the what it looks like on the outside. You're not lacking in any way. If God gave you an idea, your job is to run with it and to follow, not be stubborn. Because a lot of times with this Four of Pentacles energy, it's a stubborn one. This square is a stubborn energy. It's not really much room to move on it. You're either going to fall off to the left or the right. And you got to continue to balance all your money. Like it's just very limited movement here. So it's about just knowing that, again, money is not the root here. Money is not the issue here. Money is not what you want to be upset about. You don't want to be upset about anything. But the last thing you want to be able to, you want to put your energy into, and especially negative energy where you're just like pissed about it, isn't money. Money is energy. It flows all through. Like there's literally money everywhere. And I know that that sounds crazy to hear when you are in this, but there it really literally is. You can look around anywhere. There's money in anything. Everything tangible was bought with money. There's money everywhere. There's literally money everywhere. It may not look like money, but it is money. These cards are money. This worry stone is money. This candle is money. Like there's some form of money. And I pray that this is making sense for you where I say it's not the money you want. It's not the money you want to have the hold over you. If you want to continue to be driven, continue to be guided, continue to keep your eye on the prize, but don't allow it to allow you to become stagnant or bitter, because then it'll keep you from this Queen of Pentacles energy. The uplifting messages here is that you'll be lifted from that soon. Release it and it'll lift up off you. Release the care for money in the way that you do, and from that you'll naturally fall into this Queen of Pentacles energy, whether you are male or female or whatever. Like it don't even matter. You're going to fall into this feminine receptive energy of just allowing it to come to you. Queen of Pentacles, she's not getting up off that seat for that money. The money's coming to her. So it's important to just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And then I'm going to read these wisdom of the oracle messages here. You have chaos and conflict, represented by the number 33. Treasure Island, represented by the number 9, and then Clean It Up, represented by the number 21. I'm definitely going to read these out of the book, but just to, like kind of intuitively pull off of it, I am seeing here with this chaos and conflict, it's just given like, it looks like it was a zebra, but that looks like it's turning into a giraffe. And if but it also looks like a horse. It's a lot of shit going on here, which is what's leading me to say it's really all about perspective on this one. It's all about, granted, it's definitely not a giraffe. I don't know what it is. The point that I'm trying to make here is the picture is a bunch of shit. You can't even make sense of it. And I think that is very telling of the way your view on money is. You kind of probably find yourself in these moments where you're like, I don't know which way to go. I don't know what's serving me. I don't know right from left. Like, why is it even in the desert? I don't know. I'm gonna read it off the book. It's a lot going on here, but I think that says a lot about your mental. And I think that God is really wanting you to calm down and find some peace and to be able to center yourself, because these kind of go against each other in every way. A donkey, whatever, a donkey, a zebra, a horse, a giraffe, they're all completely different animals, and they serve completely different purposes. But the fact is, they're all animals. And I think that it actually goes back to this whole thing I was saying about money. All four of those things, take those and say they're different things that you want: a trip, a car, a house, a phone. Four things, all related, tied to money. You need money to get to it. You're not going to find it in this space. That is what I'm getting from this. With with the mental attitude that is being fed into, you're being asked to just release, to surrender, and to just be receptive versus trying to be a go-getter and save every dime that you have. So, out of the book, it says opposing forces come together to create a turbulent atmosphere. But consider the value of chaos that serves you well as you become unmoored by it. Scattered by the winds, you leave behind the parts of yourself you no longer need and disperse seeds to reinvent yourself anew. Although the conflict appears to exist externally, its essence is also internal, projected outward and causing disarray. You may find yourself at a cross purposes with someone else, facing a storm you feel you can't control. Yet every storm passes and chaos leads to a reordering of things. Conflict provides a way to see more than one side of a situation. Look upon this as just a moment in time when you may need to take shelter and step away from the fray. Don't be too eager to fight. This is a time to understand rather than to be understood. Yes, going back to that Four of Pentacles reversed with the Knight of Cups. You want to flip that upright, change your perspective. You being so tied to tangible things or things of this earth is not going to lead you. Like, mentally is where it's at, spiritually is where it's at. If you continue to have these feelings towards something tangible that you're not even going to leave here with in the end, you will miss out on the lesson. But the good thing here is that it's coming for you. You're not going to miss out on it. But I mean, you free will's here. You do. But from the way the cards are flowing, the uplifting message here is that if you just stay the course and you take heed to what it is that your guides, what God, whoever you call on, is trying to tell you here, because it may not be seen. I mean, it may not be heard. You may not hear it with your physical ears, but it could be being shown to you through your actions, through what it is that you're dealing with, through your experiences, and it's telling you, listen, this is not working for you. You got to do it this way. And if you continue to oppose it, to fight it, and to go about it in the way that you feel is most comfortable, it's really not comfortable for you. It's just familiar. You continue to go about it in the way that is familiar, you'll only keep getting familiar things. So, nine is, well, Treasure Island is represented by the number 9 here. And this one says, I actually read this in another pile too. It says, you've worked hard and acted upon your unwavering belief in abundance, and suddenly, in the midst of it all, you hit the jackpot. You have uncovered the map to buried treasure and tapped the unlimited potential within you. What you must hone now is your ability to recognize when X marks the spot, because some of these golden opportunities may be obvious, but others may not be so readily apparent. Trust your intuition to light your way now as you enter this truly prosperous phase where all the long, hard work navigating your inner life is now paying off externally. In all aspects of your life at this time, you have good fortune. Don't forget to enjoy it and share it with others, as treasure shared multiplies like magic. Going back, yes, that, oh my goodness. Going back to what I was saying, you can take these lessons that you've learned with your circumstances when it comes to money and apply it. Just know your pathway to greatness may be a little slower than others. Maybe there are extra things that you may have to learn as opposed to ones that they didn't, or maybe they just learned them fast, or maybe they do have to learn it and you just simply don't know that. There's so many different circumstances, but you just want to be as open as possible to the fact that this may not be all of what it looks like. It may not be all of what it looks like, and there is unlimited potential within you that is not tapped into yet. There's opportunities that may not be apparent to you. There's opportunities that may not be visible to you because you're so busy holding on to all of this. You're so busy focused on this. You like, I mean, if he moves, that's falling off his head. That's just gonna knock his whole shit off. Because then he gotta get up to get it. Now these are uncovered, but in order to pick it up, you gotta let that one go. Put that. It's too much. It's too much of you doing, and the message here is to just surrender and be more open to the fact that, first of all, there's other opportunities for you. Like I said, those opportunities will be there, but when they do come up, and say, for example, you try again or whatever or you try it a different way and it doesn't work that way, don't harbor resentment towards it. Try another way. It's all about perseverance. It's all about faith. It's all about determination. No, it will not always be comfortable. No, it will not always be the funnest thing to go through in life, but we're all adults here. We can do it. And I don't know everybody's situation, but I do know that God would not put more on you than you could bear. I do know that if you trust in him, then he will see you through it. And like I always say, whatever you call on, if you want to call on the universe going to see you through it. If you want to call on Allah going to see you through it. You want to call on whatever, your guides, your angels, whoever it is. Know that if you are strong in your faith, whatever that faith may be, that's all you need. And nothing on this earth is going to keep you from learning the lesson. Nothing on this earth is going to keep you from going for the gold. There's nothing that's going to keep, like I'm telling you, you're going to go from 4 pentacles, harboring them 4 pentacles, to just chilling with that one. That's exactly how that's going to go for you. And you're going to look up, if you keep the faith, you continue to persevere, you continue to release and surrender and be who you're called to be and not who you feel like you're being forced to be, then you will have it all. So I'm going to read this last card. It's 21, clean it up. And it says, ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home also? Too much work? Overwhelmed? Time to clean house. Every item out of place natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. That is the perfect message for you. The too much work, too overwhelmed, time to clean house. Yes, you have to get rid of all these things that are like restricting you. This is literally holding you back. These thoughts, these limiting beliefs, that's holding you back. And again, the uplifting message here is it's all on you. You just have to stop letting weight hold so much over you. Stop letting weight. Stop letting money have so much weight and hold over you. Stop letting your comparisons for what other people. This is you. This is literally you. Once you release this, and that goes without saying. I listen, I pull jumpers. I let the cards come out for me. This is what came out for you. And the message here is that this is you. As long as you release this, release those resentments, know that there's other options, clean it up. Know your pathway may be a little slower than others. Okay, fine. It may look crazy on the outside, but you want to straighten it out on the inside. Like there's nothing you can't do, nothing you're not capable of. As long as you emotionally equip yourself for it, because emotions play a big part in it. This is one of those things where it's like, I heard a quote and it said, if it don't feel right to me, people, places, things, and I'm removing myself. No, that's where the growth lies. That is where the growth lies. This is one of those uncomfortable times for you, but if you can stick it out and see it through, then you will, go for the goal. So I'm going to pull some affirmation cards for you guys here and see what comes out. Yep. I won't tell. Today, I trust myself. Today, I know that I will make the right decisions to maintain a happy and healthy life. Yes. Hold on one second, guys. Today, I trust myself. Today, I know that I will make the right decisions to maintain a happy and healthy life. Sorry, guys, my phone's. So, yes, going back to what I was saying, you have to be able to trust yourself over what it looks like on the outside. And even if it has to be an internal thing, again, this is one of those uncomfortable times where your emotions aren't necessarily, not going to say they won't matter, but they're not, you shouldn't put them at the forefront and allow them to make or break where it is that you go in this season, because they literally can. If you decide you want to give up, you have the free will to do that. But again, this is your energy as long as you stay the course here. So, next, you have today I'm curious. Today I will open my mind and explore new possibilities and opportunities. Going back to what I was saying here with this successful funding, there are other options. There are new possibilities, new opportunities. You just have to be open to them. You can't just be stuck in this rigid mentality like, okay, this didn't work for me. I'm sorry, y'all. I am like constantly getting interrupted for this reading. So back to what I was saying. Today, I am curious. Today, I will open my mind and explore new possibilities and opportunities. That goes back to what I was saying here with this successful funding and being able to just be open to new ways of thinking, new outlets, new perspectives, things of that nature. And then your final affirmation card is... Today I am at peace. Today I am at peace with all that has happened and all that is happening and all that will happen. That right there reminds me of the serenity prayer, and I don't really remember offhand, but it's basically, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I can't change, the strength to change the ones I can. Look it up. It's a it's a serenity prayer, and it's definitely worth like repeating to yourself in times of turmoil or when you can't control things that, like, the only thing you control is you, your thoughts, your actions, your feelings about a situation. You have full control over them, whether you put that on outside circumstances or tangible things or not. That's also a choice, but you can choose to be at peace and to just be able to, you can be abundant throughout any season. It's just all a matter of the way you look at it. And then this is the Beyond the Self Oracle deck, which is that one. So, let's see. This one says, let your feelings out, all of them, even the ones that scare you. So yeah, going back to this Four of Pentacles, reverse energy is very rigid, is very stuck. If you are experiencing like these feelings and you don't have an outlet, if you don't have a way to release them, write it down. Write it down, if nothing else. It's so much power in just getting it out. You don't want to keep it bottled in, because you'll, again, harbor resentment. You'll harbor anger, bitterness, and it'll keep you stuck. It'll keep you stagnant. When you have this Queen of Pentacles energy waiting for you, all you have to do is change your outlook, the way you feel, your relationship with money. A little bit of faith goes a long way. Remember that. Going back to the serenity prayer, look that up. I'm telling you, having faith in something bigger than you, knowing that regardless of what it looks like on the outside or what it looks like to you right now, that's not your final form. And that's not your final season. That's not the end goal for you. So that's not the end goal for God, for you. And then your last one is live your life with both feet in, fully commit to being here. Correct. Take your feet off the money, off the pentacles here. Again, like I said, if that one falls off, you got to get up. You want to take your feet off anyway to pick that up. It's too much going on. Live your life with both feet in, feel every feeling, take advantage of every opportunity, and know that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And the end goal is this receptive Queen of Pentacles, free living, abundance, surrounded by it. Like you're surrounded by it. You don't even have any distractions in back of you to tell you it's not for you. Like you don't even have anything holding you back. You don't have anything on top of you or underneath you. You're just there and you're comfortable, and everything that you want is coming towards you as opposed to you trying so hard to push forward to get it in the first place. So, Pile 3, I thank you so much for being here. Let me get off this before I get interrupted again. If you want to book a personal session with me, you can do that over on my website at www.theangelicmuse.com. I do intuitive tarot sessions as well as distance Reiki sessions. And you can also follow me over on Instagram if you like, over at theangelicmuse.com. I pray this resonates with you. If it does, please let me know down in the comments. Give me a like, a subscribe, anything. The little things do count to me. It lets me know that I'm doing something right here. And yeah, so this is all I have. And I pray you enjoy the rest of your day or your